All right, welcome everyone to Bet What Happens Live. We're at halftime of the Miami Dolphins Tennessee Titans game. Tennessee grabbing a late field goal there to go up 9-3. I'm Nick Giffen, Grant Neefer alongside of me of Scores and Odds. And first of all, hit the like button for going over 7 units last Monday Night Football doubleheader, and we'll jump right into the bets. Grant, where are we looking at for this game?
Well, this game is absolutely disgusting, but I think the Dolphins are going to do a little bit more in the second half of the game. They didn't even run 20 plays, I don't think, in the
Yeah.
first half, maybe 21. Like just something ridiculous. Time of possession was way over on the Titans side. And it's just been a few little boneheaded mistakes all throughout the game for the Dolphins. I think they fixed things up a little bit in the second half. So I'm going to start looking at some overs. Let's start off with Jonnu Smith. What does the model have for his receiving yards the rest of the game? Lions currently at 6.5. He has 0, 6.5 or 7.5, depending on where you're looking. I think I have a lean towards the over. I want to hear what the model has to say.
We have a median of 7 yards for Johnny Smith, so just barely over 6.5.
All right, we'll stay away from that. Tyreek Hill currently at 3, 39.5 or 35.5 over at 34.5 now at Caesars. That's looking like an easy over. 33.5 over at Bet Rivers.
We're still showing undervalue on that one. The model doesn't like Tyler Huntley, apparently.
I'm going against the model. I'm hitting the over 34.5.
Wait, I lied. I needed to flip which team was ahead of the money line. Yeah, we're at 54% to the over on that one.
All
So
right,
we'll
there
go
we
with
go.
that.
Over 34.5 at MGM now. Looks like minus 120 on the over. Or
Yeah.
Caesars, the 34.5, 39.5, 40.5 at other spots. So yeah, all right, that's good to know. Since you
Yep,
flipped that
yep.
over, is it the Jonnu Smith line still
It's
7?
still yeah, I mean it's at 7.5, but it's only 52% to the over, so we're not beating any juice.
Yeah, that's fair. That one I don't love. What about Achan receiving yards? He's currently at 14 live lines between 26.5 and 27.5, depending on where you're looking. Better juice is on 27.5 over at FanDuel.
We're showing over 27.5 for sure. So like
Minus
54.
108 juice, we're hitting that.
Yep. All right. So Devon Achan over 27.5 receiving yards minus 108. Uh, Over at FanDuel is our second bet. What happens live bet for Tennessee versus Miami?
Yeah, what do we have for Waddle? Lions currently at 36.5, pretty much everywhere. He is at 18. I think he's back in the game, right? We saw that he was back in the game.
Yeah, he is back in the game. And we're showing actually of anybody the most overvalue on Jalen Waddle at 59.5% to the over. Also, Miami does start with the ball here in the
Yep, we're
second
hitting that
half.
minus 115 over at MGM and
Yeah, and
ESPN.
that's a good way to
Yeah,
hedge the that's a good way to hedge if you had my under 3.5 receptions from pregame. That one is looking a little in danger there. So great way to hedge is to take a live over at 36.5 because we're showing 59% to the over on Jalen Waddle. So over 36.5 receiving yards for Jalen Waddle.
And then one that I'm looking at for the Tennessee side of things is Calvin Ridley. He's currently at how many receiving yards? 5. Live line set at 18.5. I don't think Rudolph is much of a downgrade from Levis.
I
Um,
agree. And I don't think he's much of a downgrade at all. The only thing is the Titans don't start with the ball here, but we're showing 61% to the over at 18.5.
it's at 17.5 minus 115 juice over at FanDuel. We're hitting that.
All right. So at FanDuel, you can take Calvin Ridley over 17.5 receiving yards at minus 115 as the price there as our next bet here on Bet What Happens Live. So even though this game has been all unders, we have bet a Tyreek Hill receiving yards over uh, a wait, did we do Tyreek Hill? I know we did Waddle,
Yep, we
Achan,
did
and
Tyreek
Ridley
Hill.
and Tyreek. So we've bet 4 receiving overs in this very undery type game. Pretty interesting.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's just so it's more about the reason why we haven't hit the over on Huntley is because very simply, like the concentration of the offenses between H and Hill and Waddle by massive amounts. So even though they have to only combine between those three for the rest of the game, 60 yards, it's not Huntley's line is over 131 yards. So 100 yards over Wade's already have. They
Yeah.
lines are low because guess what? They didn't get any plays off in the first half. So yeah, that's kind of the reason why I'm not seeing almost anything else. I guess we can look at Achan rushing yards. Currently he is at 11. Live line is at 36 and a half to 38 and a half.
We're actually showing undervalue, and probably because Miami is trailing. And it's definitely a spot where we're showing 59% to the under on it, actually, for Achan. He's at 11 rushing yards right now on 4 rushing attempts, 2.8 yards per carry. So not looking very efficient there.
Yeah, no, and I'm just going to stay away from that because who knows what McDaniels is going to do. That's a little bit too variable for me. What about Huntley? Currently sitting at 15 yards rushing. 29 and a half is his over at FanDuel. I took the pregame over at 27 and a half. I think I like the over at 29 and a half still. What does the model say? I know it doesn't always get rushing yards for quarterbacks right, but if it's showing any value on the over, I'd probably
No,
hit.
we're not showing value on the over. Our pregame projection on Huntley was lower than I think yours was.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, going against the model again, hitting the over, it's minus 110 juice now over at FanDuel, 29 and a half over for Huntley rushing yards.
All right, so Grant going against the model, and I don't blame him on any quarterback rushing yards, especially on one where, we're finally seeing a guy in an offense for the first time. So Tyler Huntley over 29 and a half rushing yards for Grant here on Bet What Happens Live. And I do want to, you did mention Huntley. I have him for 35 passing yards right now. Our model is showing 146, but it feels like a spot where, and he just has been completely not efficient. We're pretty much right in line with where his attempts should have been or will be. So it's not a volume issue. It's just been an efficiency issue. So we are showing value on his over on passing yards, and they start with the ball. So I don't know what your thoughts are on that, Grant.
If you want to, I mean, we already essentially got us over by taking Hill, Achan, and Waddle overs, but I'm
Yeah.
fully fine with throwing a bet down on Huntley over passing yards. I mean, 100 or less than 100 for the rest of the game. FanDuel has it at 128 and a half right now, which is about 4 to 5 units or yards lower than everywhere else. So I'm fine
Yeah,
with taking.
let's do that. Let's take over 128 and a half. We're showing 60% to the over, plus the Dolphins start with the ball in the second half here. So we're going to take, because we got all those receiver overs, we're going to take Tyler Huntley over on his passing yards. 128 and a half at FanDuel, minus 115 juice to the over.
Yep. Should we look at some touchdowns, even though there might not be one for the rest of this game?
I know, right? Let's absolutely take a look at some touchdowns. So Tyler Huntley loves hitting his tight ends throughout his career, even in college. So I sprinkled pregame, not Johnny Smith, but both Hill and Smythe first touchdowns, and there has not been a touchdown yet. So both those bets are still alive
Gotta love it when a first TD bet is still alive
at
at halftime.
halftime.
Oh gosh. What do we have for Hill? I'm guessing there's no values. Plus 360. It's the best line.
We're at plus 345, so some thin value there on Tyreek Hill touchdown.
I mean, I hit it pregame. I'm not hitting it again. I mean, if anyone wants to, we don't have any problem with it, but
Yeah,
I'm
we have thin value
okay.
on it, and they do start with the ball. So you could make a case certainly for taking Tyreek Hill anytime touchdown plus 360, but it is pretty thin value from the model.
You know what? We're throwing a quarter unit on that. Got to get there.
I love it.
Oh,
Grant
it's
has
delicious.
officially thrown a quarter unit on it. So if you want a tail, go ahead and throw a quarter unit on it as well.
Yeah, all right. Looking at other ones, Janu is sitting at plus 1400. I'm guessing you're not going to like that one.
Plus 1400. We're at plus 1200. So yeah, I'm fine with that.
All right, we're hitting it quarter unit, even though it's at plus 1400. They start with the ball, so
Yeah.
that's a
All
big
right.
value
So
there.
Jonnu Smith anytime touchdown, 1/4 unit, not a tenth of unit, a quarter unit at 12 to 1. I like it because now if he's the tight end that Tyler Huntley goes to, then I can get all 3 of those. I have all 3 of those tight ends now getting a touchdown. So as long as it's one of them, I would be happy.
All right, looking at Waddle plus 500, guessing thin or no value on that.
Yeah, no value on Waddle. We're at plus 550, 570 in that neighborhood.
Achan plus 260.
We're at 2-1.
Let's hit it for a half unit, or should we go full unit on that one? 2-1, they start off the ball. We're on full unit.
All right, we're gonna go full unit on Devon Achan anytime touchdown at 2-1 odds. I know, or sorry, at plus 260, one full unit. We're showing 2-1 as fair value, is what I meant to say. So plus 260 at FanDuel, Devon Achan touchdown, and that is one unit there. We're betting on some touchdowns here. There hasn't been one yet, but it doesn't mean there won't be one.
Yeah. Look at both Calvin Ridley and Hopkins. Ridley saying at plus 950, D Hop at plus 1,000. I think they overestimated the change in quarterback. That seems
I am showing value on both Ridley and Hopkins, so I think we should split the bet on both of them.
well. Let's just do a quarter unit on both.
Yeah. So plus 950 at FanDuel on Calvin Ridley quarter unit, and plus 1,000 on DeAndre Hopkins quarter unit. So there's a half unit worth of betting. Hopefully one of those two gets a touchdown, if not both.
And then this one seems way off. Okongwu plus 1,900 over at FanDuel. Literally double the odds everywhere else.
Yeah, we're at 14-1 on Okongwu. So let's take Chig Okongwu. You want to do quarter unit on that one?
Quarter unit on that. And if you guys haven't hit Hopkins yet, just got to plus 1,100.
Yeah, so Chig Okongwu, 19-1 at FanDuel, quarter unit for an anytime touchdown. All of Miami's stuff just came off the board at FanDuel. Now it got reset there. So I was wondering maybe there was some news or something, but no, everything seems back to normal there. Just came back up. They must have just done a quick adjustment.
Yep. I'm not really seeing anything else. How much time is left in the other game?
In the other game, they are at almost the 2-minute warning there. They're at 3 minutes left, so we can roll right through to that one when that hits 2-minute warning. But what I do want to say is we probably should look at interceptions for Tyler Huntley at least, because it's just one of those things we do have in the model here.
Yeah, just pull it up right now. You figure out what the
model's saying plus 185 for Tyler Huntley.
Tyler Huntley, best odds, and it's right in line with the market.
Okay, so no interception bet on Tyler Huntley. Anything else from this game, Grant, before we switch it over to the Seattle-Detroit game?
I guess real quickly, we should go with check out the Tennessee running backs.
Yes.
Props. Obviously, they're up. 28 rushing yards with Spears, 15 for Pollard. Both their lines are sitting at 42.5. Spears kind of getting about as much work as Pollard here.
Yeah, we're right in line with both. We have 54% to the under on Pollard and 52% to the under on Spears.
Yeah, we'll stay away.
Yeah, so right in line with them.
Now we need to start watching the Seahawks game, get caught up, because I'm trying to remember exactly what's happened in this game.
Yeah, and before we do that, I just want to remind you all to make sure to hit the like button, because we ended up giving you a whole bunch of bets here for this Dolphins-Titans game. And actually, I will take a chat question here. I do see a question about Tyler Boyd. Let's take a look at Tyler Boyd, because why not? We're here. So Tyler Boyd currently has 30 receiving yards. His live line, if you have that up, Grant, could you feed that to me?
Who?
Tyler Boyd.
And receiving yards.
I'm seeing 35.5 at FanDuel.
35.5, 36.5 everywhere.
We're showing 65% to the over on Tyler Boyd, 35.5.
Well, let's see. The best line is currently over at FanDuel. Minus 113 on the over. Yep, we'll hit that.
Yeah, so we're going to go over. Great question there in chat. Over 35.5 receiving yards for Tyler Boyd, minus 113 at FanDuel. For another bet what happens live bet here. I do see a question about Pollard receiving yards. Let's grab that one real quick since I have it up. He currently has 20 receiving yards, Tony Pollard. And if we have a line on that one. What was that?
23.5 is the best line for the over.
23.5. Let's take a look at that. We're showing 72% of the over.
All right. Well, let me double check to make sure that you have it, that it is at 20, because that does seem ridiculous. But if he is at 20, then yep, we're taking
He
that
is
over.
at 20 receiving yards. Yeah. We're taking
Minus 118 on the over at FanDuel. Still like it over at DK, MGM,
Yeah,
and
great.
Caesars.
Another one that chat found. Great one, chat. Over 23.5 receiving yards for Tony Pollard at FanDuel. Now it's minus 114. The juice just went the other way there. So that's because they have started the half there in Miami and Tennessee. So let's flip it over to Seattle and Detroit. They are at the 2-minute warning again. Just want to remind you all to hit the like button because we did give out a bunch of bets there for Tennessee and Miami, despite thinking maybe we would struggle there to find something. So we found some bets, and now we're gonna head over to Detroit versus Seattle. They're at the 2-minute warning. Detroit leads by a score of 21-7, 14-point lead. And right now, let's see, the Seattle Seahawks have the ball at the Detroit 43 at the 2-minute warning. Grant, tell me what you're seeing so far in this game while I update the money line and switch my gears here on my sheet.
I mean, the Lions have been running wild. One bad play, fumble near the end zone that led to a touchdown, kind of changed things dramatically, but Seattle's played really well. We've seen both these teams. Last game, I think, had 65 points. These two teams played each other. One before, I think, had 93 points. Just absurdly high scoring games every single time these two teams play, and it looks like they're on pace to do the same thing over in Detroit in the Dome. For some reason, these teams put up massive games.
Yep.
And I have a feeling that a lot of the lines are not going to fully adjust to that. Looks
Right.
like
So
a
I'm all
little bit,
set here.
yeah. All right. So let's start looking. JSN currently at 23 receiving yards, 57.5, 58.5 is his over under right now. What do we have for that?
We have right in line 57.5 on
That's
the
what I
dot.
figured. It looks like a few of these Seattle lines, they've adjusted for how well Geno's playing and obviously them trailing plus the 2-minute warning here. What do we have for DK? He's currently at 68. Live line is between 114 and 120.5, 125.5 over at Fanatics. They
That's
do
pretty
have the ball.
crazy.
They might pass to him. So this is kind of tough here at the 2-minute warning, but what do we have?
Well, we have at 125.5, we have very significant value on the under for DK Metcalf. Now, I know obviously he's had four receptions, 68 yards, but we're showing some pretty big value in the under. I'm trying to remember who started with the ball. Detroit started with the ball. So Seattle has it. They will get it back. So I don't love the under there.
Yeah, now I moved from 125 to 120, and this drive is going to change some things. Probably should be looking at more Detroit guys than anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I have
Yeah,
to.
especially while they don't have the ball and won't get it back in the second half. There could be some Detroit under opportunities.
Yeah, let's see. Jameson Williams. Lions currently at 26.5. He currently has 10 receiving yards. Obviously, they're going to be running the ball a decent amount in the second half.
Mhm.
But well, that flag could change things drastically. What's
It
the
sure
flag
could.
holding? All right, so likely going to be running a lot. Makes it a little tougher. Between 24 and 27.5 is Williams' line. Now that makes a huge difference, especially with a guy like him. What do we have on the under, did you say?
We actually have overvalue on 24.5. And the Lions are potentially about to get the ball back here because Seattle is in 2nd and 18. So I don't know. It's one of those
Line moved to
where
26.5. I'm going to hit the over.
at 20 what and a half, you cut out.
26.5 over minus 114 juice
All
at
right.
fan.
So we're going to take Jameson Williams over 26.5 receiving yards, minus 114 at FanDuel. And it looks like Seattle did just move the ball a little bit to get to a 3rd and 10 as time is ticking down a little bit. So I'm just going to update the time remaining in the model here.
Yeah, that
All
kind
right.
of changes things. I thought I got out of bounds. But yeah, this play will kind of change things. So we'll hold off here. We need to know what ends up happening on this 3rd down.
Yeah, for sure.
They're going to run the clock out.
Incomplete to DK Metcalf on 3rd and 10. So they're going to be at 4th and 10 from the 45-yard line. at around 18 yards. It'd be a 63 yarder. I don't know if they'll attempt it in obviously they're indoors, which helps, but we'll see.
Yeah, no, I mean, if they do, then Detroit has really good field position.
Yeah, if they attempted
So
a miss.
what do we have for Montgomery over 0.5 receiving yards? I assume he's at 0.
That is, if he is at 0, we're at 57% to the over.
Plus 118 odds over at FanDuel. We'll hit that over.
Yeah, I like that because they should have him on the field in running situations, and can always have a pass. So we're gonna take Montgomery over half a receiving yard at FanDuel. What did you say the juice was on that one?
Plus 118.
Plus 118, even better. I love it. Plus money on
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, this is the game I thought we'd have more bets, and I'm not sure that we're going to possibly have more bets than we had in the
Yeah,
first.
because they've been adjusting some things here. So 1 minute left in the second quarter here. I will just make sure I've got everything updated correct. So, yep, everything is good. Just going to check the money line in this game now that possession has changed. And then we'll be ready to go. Cool. All right. So everything is set up here. Grant,
So
what else are we looking at?
let's look at Montgomery over rushing yards. Obviously, not going to change too much in this drive, but he's the guy that's going to get the majority of the work trying to run the clock out. He's currently at 42. Live line is 78.5.
We're actually showing a bit of undervalue, and it kind of makes sense, especially if they don't go running here, if they're passing here, and then Detroit does not start with the ball in the second half. So I'd be afraid to go on an over there.
Okay, probably the same thing from Gibbs then, who's at 73 and 71.5 respectively at most spots. So we will stay away from that one. Sam Laporta, probably before they get the ball, currently at 23 receiving yards. Line set at 35.5 to 37.5.
We have 60% to the over on 35.5.
All right, DK minus 120 on the over. We're taking that.
All right, so Sam Laporta over 35.5 receiving yards, minus 120 at DraftKings would be the best line there for Sam Laporta over 35.5 receiving yards.
And looking, Geno Smith passing yards. He's currently at 160. Live lines at 321 to 328.5, depending on where you're at.
We're right in line with that. We're at 325.5.
Yeah, I figured that might be the case. Jared Goff, 190.5. He's currently at 83.
He's currently at 83. And what did you say the line was?
187, 185.5.
Yeah, we have 202. So, and with now that they have the ball, I would love the over there if
Yeah,
it comes back on the board.
181.5 over at DK, but I think
it's
right
off
now.
the board right now. But when it pops back up, if and when,
yeah, I'm looking.
We definitely would show overvalue on Jared Goff passing yards.
It popped up for a second and then went down. Darn it! I'm just sitting here.
It's going to be hard to get on this drive unless there's another timeout.
Yeah, I mean that's going to be tough to get much of anything down during this drive because it changes things so drastically.
It really does. There is a flag here, so that might give an opportunity. Yeah, so it's 173.5 at FanDuel.
Yeah, we're hitting that.
All right, so over 173.5 minus 114 at FanDuel. Jared Goff passing yards. Get it quick while there's a penalty here. But we like Jared Goff over. If you can get it while they're still on this drive, whenever it pops back up for you, stay over at FanDuel. They've had the best line on him. Take a Jared Goff over.
5 yards lower. Yeah. All right. I'm not really seeing too much that we can even probably get money down on during this drive. If you guys haven't hit Montgomery yet, he keeps popping up at higher and higher odds on the over 0.5 receiving yards. So if you didn't hit that, it's probably in better shape now because he wasn't going to be too involved in this drive anyways. Let's see.
So Jared Goff 183.5 at FanDuel now, but he has 92 passing yards. So if you have that opportunity, take it. We took it a little bit earlier, but take that over now at FanDuel. 180.5 at FanDuel for Jared Goff over passing yards.
Yeah, hopefully it just hits like a 70-yard bomb to Williams when we hit.
He just got sacked, so
son of a biscuit.
Not ideal there.
Yeah, looking through things right now, not seeing too much on the board that I'm really loving. We'll probably not really have many other bets because the lines aren't adjusting enough to
Right.
make changes. Tyler Lockett, live lines at 39.5. He is currently at 14. I could see him breaking off a big play. Seahawks going to be passing in the second half.
Yeah, they will be. Um, Let me pop in Tyler Lockett. What did you say he has currently?
He's currently at 14, live lines 39.5.
We're at 55% to the over. And they will start with the ball and could potentially get it back here for one final play.
Yeah. Yeah, I hit it at DK minus 110 on the over. Just popped up that few extra points of juice difference pushed me
Yeah,
over the
so
edge.
Tyler Lockett over at DraftKings, if you can get that at 39.5 receiving yards, take the over there at DraftKings.
Yeah, they may end up getting the ball back here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they better call timeout.
And it's minus 110 juice on that. Over
Yep.
39.5 at DraftKings for Tyler Lockett receiving yards. Just to reiterate that there. Still up. I still see it listed at DraftKings.
Yep. All right. Not going to be able to make much bets in the last 22 seconds here.
Yeah, no, definitely not. I've
Kind
already
of,
ticked it over. I just ticked the model over to the second half, and then we'll just kind of see if Seattle can close it a little bit. That'll definitely change the money line, change the current point differential, which will affect the model for sure.
yeah. So, I mean, it's just kind of all over the place. They could easily get a field goal. They could potentially get a touchdown. That changes things drastically. So, I'm looking at touchdown odds at the moment, but we'll probably refrain from pulling the trigger unless I see something just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Um, let's see. Yeah, not really seeing too much. Metcalf at plus 275 is the one that's kind of staring me right in the face. But I mean, yeah, I guess we can.
Metcalf 275 is staring you in the face. I would see 3-1 as our fair value on that.
Yeah, sounds about right. Um, yeah, this is just tough here.
It really is. We're just going to kind of be in a little bit in a holding pattern until we see what happens with these final couple plays.
Yeah. Yeah. So any questions, go ahead and throw them into chat. We'll answer them for the next 20 seconds until someone asking if Metcalf down to plus or 110.5 is worth revisiting.
Yeah, that's a good question. At 110.5. We're right at 50-50 on 110.5.
Yeah. So he could end up getting it. If you're going to bet anything, bet the over, I would suggest, but I'm not suggesting betting it at all.
Yeah.
So there's that. Let's see. Any other questions? Geno completions. That's tough. Again, we'll check that out at halftime. Any overtime value? Ooh, that's a good Nick Giffen question.
Any overtime value? That is a great one. Let's go check. Will there be overtime? It is 21-1 at FanDuel. I had this game at about 14-1 pregame. We do have a 2-score differential, which is okay. We're right on 14 points. So maybe I think I probably want to wait for like a 23, but I don't have a live overtime model. It's just a pregame overtime model.
Yeah. So not suggesting that, but guys, go hit the like button. The like button, we'll get more bets in. Just how things work.
Yeah, we're gonna get more
You
bets.
like
We're
it.
just waiting for the end of this. By the way, Sanders kicks a field goal for the Dolphins. So just wanted a little update on that one. If we're looking, Tyler Huntley is still at 35 passing yards. We did not get a
Yeah,
single passing yard on that sequence of plays in the second half.
it was gross. It was just rush, 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 field goal.
Yeah.
Yeah, after a great return. Ooh, Gino using those legs. 5 seconds. Do you think they're probably not going to try for another play? They're just probably kicking field
Probably got to
goal.
kick the field goal here. Yeah.
Yeah, especially with no timeouts. Overtime bet is now a worse bet
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's 11-point difference, and so it's still not a terrible one. You're getting actually, it almost in a way makes it a little more likely because when it's 14, sometimes you'll see the teams go for 2 to try to
Yeah.
win the game or something like that. So it doesn't hurt it terribly, but it definitely doesn't help it. We like being on 7s and 3s typically for overtime. They did do one more play past the DK Metcalf, and now it's field goal time.
FYI, guys, you're hitting the chat like button, not the thumbs up button there to the left. So hit the thumbs up button. I
Yeah, hit
guess.
the right below the video, hit the thumbs up button. That
Yeah.
button. That's what we want. Not the heart in chat, but the thumbs up underneath the video. Um, and make sure to subscribe as well and hit the bell to get notifications for when we do go live. Because we have all sorts of fun shows. And the 62-yard attempt was missed. We're gonna have a attempted return here and he doesn't get it.
All right. Now I
But
don't
there's
have
a
to.
flag on the play.
I
There
mean,
is a flag.
unless it's against the Lions, then it'll be halftime. I would assume it's against
Face
the Seahawks.
mask. Did they give him one free play or not?
No. So with a face mask. Oh, actually, yeah, they're technically. I think that they give him one free play. I
Yeah,
could be wrong.
one untimed down. No, it says halftime. So I think,
Well, I don't
yeah,
know. It
we'll
says
just wait and
halftime.
see. We'll just wait and see.
Yeah, just
All
waiting.
right, halftime.
All right, we're good. They're like, nah, we were probably going to kneel the ball anyways.
Declined. Half.
Yep.
All right.
All right, halftime. Let's.
Officially halftime with an 11-point difference. Sorry, not an 11 point, still a 14-point difference in this game because the field goal was missed, a 62-yarder. So let's get to it, Grant.
Yeah. All right, let's start looking at TDs, and of course, FanDuel has all the lines down. So at least get your thoughts on Jared Goff, 18 plus 1800 over at ESPN bet. I guess there's no value there.
Let's take a look. I will. Oh, darn. 23.5.
Yeah. Jameson Williams plus 750.
Jameson Williams plus 750. We're literally plus 750 on the dot.
All right, no value there. And then start with the ball. Geno Smith rushing touchdown plus 1200.
Geno rushing touchdown plus 1200. We're at 20-1 on Geno.
Yeah, figured JSN plus 400 over at MGM.
JSN, we're right at 4-1 on him. Hopefully FanDuel gets there. All right, FanDuel got their lines back up. They probably will have the best touchdown odds. So
they're actually
let's
pretty
do
far
that.
behind a lot of places. Yeah, let's see. And now the lines are back down again. But before that, Lockett was at plus 440 at FanDuel. Before they took it down, now at plus 400 over to MGM. Guessing there's no value there.
No.
Yeah, I'm not really seeing much of anything.
Yeah, why is FanDuel got everything locked and then it unlocks real quick and then locks again?
Classic FanDuel.
Yeah, they knew our show has been doing too well against them,
Oh
right?
yeah, they've lost a lot of money to us on touchdown bets. Maybe getting some of it back in this Tennessee game, but
Yeah, they'll get a little bit of it back potentially. Although Rudolph incomplete pass deep to DeAndre Hopkins. So taking a
PI.
shot there at least.
No.
All right, FanDuel is up. Let's go.
All right. I'm honestly not seeing Khalif Raymond 28-1 over at FanDuel.
38.
Yeah. Laporta 750.
750 on Laporta. We're at 8.25.
Tim Patrick plus 2200.
Plus 2200 on Tim Patrick. I don't even have him in the model. No, I do here. 17.5.
All right, let's hit that for 0.1 units. Now it's
Yeah,
at 21.
it's at 21. So we'll do it at 21-1. Tim Patrick at FanDuel 21-1, 0.1 units. I was I was like, why am I not having him in the model? And then I was looking in the wrong spot. That's why. So 17.5 to 1 is what I have fair on Tim Patrick. So if you don't have FanDuel, anything longer than 17.5, 18 to 1, we still like. But 21 to 1 at FanDuel, 1/10 of a unit on Tim Patrick, anytime touchdown.
What do we have on Charbonnet? Obviously, they're going to be passing more. Could get less work for Kenneth Walker. He's currently sitting at plus 800. Was it 850 a second ago?
For Kenneth Walker, is that what you said?
No, Charbonnet.
Oh, Chardonnay. We're at plus 740, 745.
They start with the ball. I kind of like that over.
Let's do it for a touchdown.
Yeah, we'll go
Yeah.
quarter unit.
Quarter unit on Zach Charbonnet at 8 to 1 at FanDuel for an anytime touchdown here in Seattle versus Detroit. Like I said, most of our anytime touchdown bets will be at FanDuel at halftime. They tend to have the best odds. So we're going to go Zach Charbonnet, 8 to 1 quarter unit there.
Yeah. All right. Titans are in the red zone. We'll see if any one of our we need a Kongwo, Ridley, or Hopkins to hit.
That's right.
And I think at worst we break even.
Yeah, exactly.
Just one of those hits here. So yeah, don't run the ball, Titans. Just pass it.
Throw it.
Just pass it.
Give it to Rudolph, man. Let Rudolph do his magic.
Yeah. Yeah. Do they call a timeout?
All right. So I'm just real quick gonna look here at I wanted to come back to Geno Smith interceptions. I liked it pregame, but then the line moved while I was walking my dog and ended up not being value. No, not showing, definitely not showing value on Geno Smith interceptions at plus 106. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, plus 110. That's the line
Yeah,
I
we're
see.
we're at like plus
Looking at his
150.
pass completions.
Okay,
So
let's take a look.
I was asking about that pre-game, or not pre-game, pre-halftime. He's currently at 17. Live line is 31 and a half.
17 and live line is 31 and a half. We're at 31 and a half on the dot.
Well, if you guys really want to bet it, you can over at DK at plus 105. Of course, Tajay Spears gets a rushing touchdown.
Yeah.
What we didn't want to see.
I see a good one in chat. Let me pull this one up. Tim Patrick also has over under half a receiving yard, and I think it's at decent plus money. If you want to check that out, Grant. Yeah, I'm seeing plus 122 at FanDuel.
Yeah, it's not showing up other places. I have to refresh. Patrick plus 22, plus 122 at FanDuel is the only line.
All right, so we're showing 51% to the over, so technically value because it's plus money to the over.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to hit it, we can. I'm unsure.
Yeah, I mean, we took his touchdown. We may as well get the yard with it too, right?
Wait, we did take Tim Patrick. Yeah, I forgot.
Yeah, Tim Patrick. So let's
Um,
do it. I'm doing it. FanDuel, I have right here, right open in front of me. Plus
we're doing
122. Tim Patrick over half a receiving yard. Plus 122 at FanDuel. Like I said, we've got it a little bit better in the coin flip. So plus 122 technically is some value there.
Oh, Tajay Spears was in at quarterback for that touchdown.
Yep.
Yeah, man. Football's wild. I don't think I have any other bets. Let's check out chat to see if they were asking for anything.
Charbonnet receiving yards. Let's check that one.
Currently at 35 and a half to 37 and a half, depending on where you're looking. He is at 30. So that could have some positive value on the over.
You say he's at 30, it cut out again.
Yeah, he's at 30.
Okay. And you said the line is 30 something and a half?
35 and a half to 37 and a half.
We have value on over 35 and a half, 58.5% to the over. Seattle starts with the ball, down 2 scores.
Yeah, we'll take that minus 120 at both DK and FanDuel. So whichever one you want.
All right. Good question there, chat. Zach Charbonnet over 35 and a half receiving yards, minus 120, either at DraftKings or FanDuel. So yeah, any long shot Gibbs bets? Let me check what we have for Gibbs. Probably not. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything where I would have value on either an over for his rushing or an over as a receiving. And then if you wanted longer shots like ladders and stuff, those wouldn't, those would be not showing value either as well.
Yeah. So people asking about rushing yard lines for Seattle. I'm guessing there's not going to be any much value, if any, on these. But Walker's at 6, live lines 22.5, 23.5.
Yeah, we would show overvalue there, but not definitely not an undervalue there. And if you already took the pregame under, just let it ride, right? Sean Kerner gave it out as his best bet for this game. Just let it ride. Just let under 50, whatever and a half you got there for Kenneth Walker ride on his rushing yards, because now live we're technically showing overvalue, but I don't want to take the over given the situation here.
What about Charbonnet? Currently at 0, live line is 7.5, 6.5.
Also showing an overvalue on him, which might be a little more intriguing with the game script.
Yeah, because he could get some more run. Obviously, much better receiving running back. I kind of like his over on
Yeah,
7.
let's do that. Let's do. I prefer Charbonnet to Smith, or sorry, to
Walker.
not Geno Smith, to Kenneth Walker. So let's do Charbonnet over 7.5 rushing yards. Where's the best line, Grant?
15 FanDuel.
Yeah, -115 at FanDuel is the best line there. For Zach Charbonnet over on rushing yards. And then real quick, I see chat was asking about Laporta or St. Brown TD. We did not have value on Laporta already. Amon-Ra, St. Brown, we would have +455 is fair. And I'm sure I do see a 5-1 out there.
For Amon-Ra touchdown.
Yeah, but Detroit does not start with the ball. It might be one where if Seattle looks like they're driving, I think you could take Amon-Ra St. Brown live, but probably wouldn't want to take it right now.
Yeah, 6.5 people are talking about in chat. It was heavier juice. I just went with the 7.5 line. Don't mind it at 6.5 anywhere too, but you're paying 120. I mean, DK just moved it over, but 125 at most other spots.
Yeah, exactly. We were doing the 7.5 simply because you're getting a little bit better juice on the over there, -120 instead of like -125, -130. And we're willing to sacrifice that yard for that better juice.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's all we got.
Yeah, that is all we have. So we'll wrap it up there for Bet What Happens Live. Currently, Tennessee leads Miami 16-6. We'll see how our bets go there. And Detroit leads Seattle 21-7. Good luck with your bets, everybody, and enjoy the rest of the game.
Bye, kids.